Ready? 3, 2...
Oh, you're minor, dude.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, software releases, hardware releases, and the websites by plebes or plebs. Drop us a like, subscribe. We're going to the numbers. Let's check them out.
Number time!
At the time of this recording, the block height is 692,356. The Bitcoin price, 33,355. Yeah, small pump. Anyways, chain rewrite days, 1,062. Total public Lightning capacity, new all-time high, 1,967.41. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 5.32%. And sats per dollar, we are once again below 3K, 2,992.
Phil, I think we should change it up. I think we should invite Satoshi to cluck every time we reach an all-time high and every time the public Lightning capacity reaches an all-time high.
Well, you know what? We might want to get feedback from the listeners on that one.
That's true. But I'm going to sneak in a little cluck anyways.
Okay, fine. I mean, look, it's an all-time high for Lightning capacity, which is awesome. So,
but we might get stuck in a situation where it's like doing that every single day.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then it's just annoying.
And then it's just annoying.
You know, then it's not so special anymore, right? We want it to be special. And don't get me wrong, all-time high on public Lightning capacity is 100% special, you know? But it's one of those things where now it's happening, I guess, every day.
I'm sorry, Satoshi.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
He
All right,
accepts
how about this? How about this? When the public Lightning capacity, okay, when we break 2K, he can come out.
I like that. I like that.
We wait for 2K.
You hear that? Yeah, he agrees. The
What?
chicken is down. But anyways, Phil, it's time for it.
The daily fail. All right, everyone. It's the rug pull of the week. So this is a rug pull that's been building, though, right? It's like you could see right here on the tweet. It's July 15th. Kyle Torpy. So decrypt. THORchain attack drains protocol of 25 million in Ethereum. That wasn't exactly correct, and the number has been corrected. But I feel like there was another attack on this. But let's dive into this, okay? So there's an article. Yeah, see, updated to estimated 7.6 million, not 25. Okay, well, let's dive into how people lost money for shitcoining, right? There you go. Trusted a bunch of people, and they screwed you. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. THORchain attack drains protocol of estimated 7.6 million. Administrators in the community's Telegram group initially pegged the loss to the protocol at about 13,000 ETH before later taking to Twitter to estimate the attack at 4,000 worth of ETH.
Shit.
Anyways, okay. So this is actually kind of one of my favorite parts. While the Treasury has the funds to cover the stolen amount, that's great. Centralized entity called the Treasury. We request the attacker get in contact with the team to discuss return of funds and a bounty commensurate with the discovery. Network administrators wrote in the community's Telegram. So you could steal money, and then we are going to pay you for stealing our money. That's pretty awesome. Anyways, it continued by saying that users' funds will be available when the issue has been patched and the network resumes. In the meantime, it said the network has been halted. Okay. So hang on a second, though. There's that, right? Then there's one of our listeners who honestly tags us all the time for every shitcoining stupidity. So we really appreciate it, man. Shout out to @Babadan Bitcoin. Really appreciate it. So here we go. This is July 23rd. And yes, it looks like it's true. THORchain has been hacked for a second time. So now we're up to like 15.6 million, right? If we're going by the lower number. All right. Anyways, 15.6 million. And this. Okay. So Rune is this shitcoin that they use to do a swap. Okay. And that's essentially, you know, one of these THORchain assets. Okay. Yeah. I read a little bit about this so that I could, you know, somewhat make sense of it. And essentially, okay, every single time one of these swaps occurs, the Rune token is used. Okay. So here we go. This is a message. Let's just read it. From the hacker in the TX input. It's good. Could have taken ETH, BTC, LYC, BNB, and BEP20s if waited. Wanted to teach lesson minimizing damage, multiple critical issues. 10% VAR bounty would have prevented this. Disable until audits are complete. Audits are not nice to have. Do not rush code that controls 9 figures. Indeed. So even you know what? Look, even the hackers are making fun of you, right? Because this is the honest to God truth. Why are people trusting their funds? This is not a joke. This is actually worse than a casino. You know, it's actually worse than a casino. So really, again, you know, this is why we stay away from it. I know. You always end up seeing somebody telling you that they got 1,000% pump, and you know it took 3 days and blah blah blah. But you know, for every 1,000% that took that many days, there's one person telling you that story. There's at least 4,000 people that lost their shirts. So I'm sorry, not sorry.
And how do we know that? Because we lived it for so long, and both of us would have more Bitcoin if we skipped our shitcoining days, right? Like, that's just a matter of fact, right? So, yeah, and look, I just want to go back to this, like, and Coinbase is so guilty of this, right? Which is why they're so hated, right? And it's this idea that all chains are created equal. Like, no. Like, when you buy Ethereum, you have to understand that you're buying something that's inferior to Bitcoin, like literally inferior. It's less decentralized. If they I keep repeating this because I want to piss off anyone who likes Ethereum watching this video. Listen, if you shut down AWS servers, okay, that are running the Ethereum nodes, the Ethereum network will cease to exist, or they'll grind to a halt, and they're going to struggle to bring it back online, right? Because the nodes require a tremendous amount of resources that it's just out of reach for most people, right? It's just too expensive, or it's just too resource heavy, or you just don't know how to spin up a node, right? And if you compare that to Bitcoin, right, it's become significantly easier to run a Bitcoin node. And if you don't want to build a Raspberry Pi, you could always just download Bitcoin Core on your computer, and that could be a node, right? So it's like, again, like, just because you are buying a cryptocurrency does not equate that to Bitcoin, right? You're buying shit, right? If you're not buying Bitcoin, you're buying shit, right? And we're telling you that, again, because of experience, not just because we're just saying this to say it, you know. But amazing fail. They just keep getting better. I get excited every time Phil has a fail. What are you gonna say? You're muted, dude.
Sorry. I what I wanted to say was just to finish that point. You know, you don't think we wanted our bags to pump too? Like, don't you think, like, you don't think we wanted to have the 10,000x? Like, of course we did. Of course, we all wanted to believe that. But when we actually sit there and did the reading and did the research, we were like, this is not the real thing. This is garbage. This is a scam. Anyways.
No, true that. But amen, bro. Amen. But anyways, Phil, it's time for it.
The Daily Meme Review.
All right, everybody. The meme for today is brought to us by a fellow plebe. Definitely go check him out. You can follow him at Iwin Rabinstein. It's a dope name, my friend. Anyways, let's check it out. Of course, Jack is absolutely trolling all the ETH head, bro. We're really dumping on ETH. Again, this was totally by accident, like it always is. And laser eyes, ETH crying. Hilarious. And because it's so funny, I'm going to give it an ostrich egg, but I gave that yesterday, so I'm not just going to give it one ostrich egg. I'm going to give it 2 ostrich eggs, but I'm not going to just give it 2. I'm going to give it 3. 3 ostrich eggs.
3 ostrich eggs. Look at this.
What about you, Phil?
Oh my gosh, man, this is a tough one. This is definitely a tough one. You know what? So look, thought it was funny, right? Definitely hilarious. I am gonna go with the trusty. I think this is like an M5, an M5 stack battery. Kind of interesting. It's a battery for like one of these little controllers.
That is really interesting. It like fits perfectly in.
You know?
Super cool.
Yeah, microcontrollers.
Okay, so a battery for a microcontroller, super cool, and 3 ostrich eggs. Rechargeable battery. And 3 ostrich eggs. But anyways, Phil, it's time for it.
The Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody, the news for today. Before we get to it, we want to give a disclaimer, okay? Because we're going to talk about something that's very, very
Controversial.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. I was looking for that word.
Controversial.
Yeah, so we just want to say we are not anti-vax. You can do whatever you want with your body. However, we want to emphasize that because we are for Bitcoin, we are for the freedom of the individual to make his own choice. Okay. Now that that's said, I'm going to pull up the article. How ridiculous this all is. I think someone had a Freudian slip. Check out this article by RT. People jabbed with placebos during vaccine trials will have same privileges as those who are fully vaxxed. Okay, so I'm just going to, I'm going to read that again. People jabbed with...
Why is there a privilege difference to begin with?
Dude...
I'm sorry.
If they really cared about health, right? If health was really a priority, then why do people that got a placebo, meaning they got a fake vaccine, get the same privileges as people that got the vaccine? That tells me that they're really not interested in people's health. This is more about control. That's what I see when I read this. It's ridiculous. And like, here's a tweet from Francis Pouliot, right? He says, I've been found guilty by a Quebec court of law, in my absence, of violating lockdown rules for the Bitcoin halving barbecue with 3 people in the park. Check this out. If I don't pay, they will seize my income, assets, or bank accounts, or put me in jail if insufficient. Official COVID criminal. That is crazy. And the reason governments are able to do this and the reason that they're able to get away with this, right, is because they've been grown to such a size because they have a money printer next to them. And it pays for all their unnecessary bureaucracy, right? We read you that tweet by Ron Paul the other day, and he's basically saying this fiat experiment that started in 1971 has grown governments tremendously at the expense of their own citizens. And this is where we find ourselves today, right? Where it's these ridiculous regulations that they don't make sense, right? I just read you the article. People that received the placebo, meaning they didn't get the vaccine, have the same privileges as people that got the vaccine. If it was really about health, if it was really about, controlling the virus, right? Then they wouldn't say that. This is about controlling people. It's not about controlling a virus, dude. And it's crazy. And this is why Bitcoin's important, right? You buy Bitcoin, you're defunding them in the process, and you're destroying their ability to do this. Because the reason that they're able to do this is because they have a money printer. If they didn't have a money printer, I'm going to steal your lines, Phil. The government would actually have to provide value, right? They're in a position where they don't have to provide value because they just press P and it pays for everything they need. Anyways, Phil?
Yeah, man. No, that's absolutely right. Look, for me, all of this, politics aside, right? This is, to me, from the way that I feel, this experience has been just simply about population control. I understand that, I'm not denying in any way, shape, or form that there's a virus. Absolutely, there's a virus and all of that stuff. But I do believe that this opportunity was used and capitalized upon in order to start enforcing more social controls, and we can see it. Look, just across from Canada into the US, you have to go and get a test. You have to pay for it. So somebody who can't afford it can't necessarily cross over. I mean, it's look, to me, all I see is population control and more rigid, essentially more rigid controls for travel. So this is scary stuff. This is really scary stuff. And tweet from Francis, right? Like that's like that's Montreal police. That's psychotic. Like, I grew up in Montreal. I've never had difficult, like difficult interactions with the police, and somehow they've completely changed. Yeah, Montreal and Quebec. So, anyways.
Man, it's scary stuff, dude. And again, you protect yourself, right, from this, right? You heard what the tweet said, right? We will seize your assets. You protect yourself from this by buying Bitcoin. And remember, these governments are the same people that are behind central bank digital currencies. So they wouldn't even have to ask if it was a central bank digital currency. They would just seize it right away, right? Say, until you comply, until you pay the fee, your account is frozen.
Dude, right? It would disappear on the spot. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, but it kind of reminds me of the movie Idiocracy, where they have like all these scanners and like they scan his code, right? Like by mistake, he puts his hands up and it's caught by the scanner, and then they're able to find him. Like,
I don't know how this happened, okay, but I'm doing everything I can to get us back there, okay? I promise you.
You are harboring a fugitive.
It's obviously it's slightly different than that, but for banking, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, you know what I mean? You go and get a fine, and at the same time, oh yeah, well, you know what? All your credits are reduced. Or you're only allowed to spend money till 6 p.m. or something. Who knows? Who knows what insane psychotic crap they can come up with to, you know, entertain themselves.
Absolutely, man.
Man.
This is crazy. Crazy stuff.
Freaky.
Crazy stuff.
Freaky.
But it gets worse. Check out this this tweet that we talked about, and we
Better
talked
have
about
something
it.
happy coming up.
Unfortunately, not today. So, but
Damn you. Okay,
so
sorry.
yeah, so we talked about this tweet earlier on the week. We covered it as a fail, and we said specifically, right, because I spoke with the CEO of Coin Corner personally, and he said that what she was saying was political rhetoric. But I found some information today that contrasted that opinion. So we're going to go through that because it is very important. Anyways, this is a tweet from Mairead McGuinness. She's a European politician, and she apparently passed this new law, right, that was based on the Financial Action Task Force recommendations, right? So anyways, to read her tweet, cryptocurrency is one of the newest ways to launder money. Our rules will now apply to the whole of the crypto sector. Check this out. We will ban anonymous crypto wallets and make sure that crypto assets transfers are traceable. Now, I ran into this thread, thanks to Marty Bent, from Simone I can't pronounce that. Simone Levy, but shout out to him. And I'm going to put this thread down in the link description if you want to go through the whole thing, right? But just check it out. Okay, let's stop the nuance. EU and FATF do want to kill the use of unhosted wallets. Stop nuancing. I'll guide you through it then. Start with the FATF DAF recommendation N91C here. All right, and let's check it out. Let's read it. This is very insidious, okay? We should read the EC proposal in combination with the FATF recommendation 91C. Sounds like these people sound like Ethereum developers. Anyways, for Bitcoin and shitcoin assets, that clearly outlines how the travel rule will be the tool to kick out anonymous wallets. We've been saying this for 6 months now, okay? Denying licensing of virtual asset service providers if they allow transactions to and from non-obliged entities, private/unhosted wallets, oblige virtual asset service providers via the travel rule to accept transactions only from to other virtual asset service providers. So essentially what they're going to try to do, right, it's the key there, right? They want to ban transactions that are not to and from virtual asset service providers. What are virtual asset service providers? Exchanges. Custodial wallets, right? Stuff like that, you know, where they make you, they try to implement the legacy system on top of the new system, right? Now here's the thing, right? It laid it out there very clear. They want to ban any transactions that are coming from non-virtual asset service providers, meaning self-hosted wallets, right? It's very scary stuff, okay? We don't know where it's going to end, but I kind of want to read this passage from Marty Bent's post today, and that's essentially where I found this thread. Okay, let me pull it up. He says, who knows what happens in the end, but this is definitely something you freaks should be aware of. Overbearing regulations that are impossible to comply with, all in the name of stopping terrorism, money laundering, and sex trafficking. That's the excuse. That's the excuse. That's the justification for this violation of human rights, the way that I see it, right? Because who are you to tell me, right, that my money is not accepted because I didn't pass through your bullshit regulations? Because I could tell you what, I could send that Bitcoin to someone living in your country, and if I met with them in person, they would happily exchange their euros or their dollars for Bitcoin, right? So I don't know what you're stopping. Are you stopping? You're just pushing this underground. That's all you're gonna do. You're not gonna stop people from transacting in Bitcoin. Look at every single country that has tried doing so. Look at every single country that has banned exchanges. You know what happened? The volume peer-to-peer goes through the roof, meaning the whole market, the whole trading goes underground, and the government loses all capabilities of taxing it. The government loses, the citizens lose, everyone loses, man. And you know what the Bitcoiners that have a lot of coin are gonna do? They're gonna get the fuck out of there because it's some fascist bullshit, okay? This is really scary stuff. We need to fight back. We need to keep making a ruckus on Twitter, and we need to keep calling out these fucking psychopath bureaucrats, because that's what they are, man. It's crazy. This is a direct attack on Bitcoin. This is a direct attack on human freedom. That's what it is, okay? It's undebatable, okay? And all those excuses, man, we've covered it so many times. The majority of crime happens in cash, in fiat. It does not happen in Bitcoin. It's so fucking stupid. Phil?
I love the fire. Yeah, man, absolutely. I don't even know how much I really have to add to that. But look, necessity is the mother of all invention. So if they are going to pull this shit and they are going to try to, you know what I mean, to Frankenstein Bitcoin, they are going to be in for a fight. Okay? They really are. So, because it really is something that they can't control. The other thing that I understood from this, which was my takeaway, was that they're not only like... So essentially, they're telling you that you can't have a wallet unless they host it. Or yes, unless an entity that they approve hosts it. That's like you not being allowed to carry cash in your own pocket.
That's what they want.
That is completely psychotic. Okay,
it's insane.
And listen, these people don't get to win in the end, okay? They don't get to win. Because their stuff is actually completely based on absolutely nothing. Okay, nothing at all. It's completely made up. Okay, whereas with Bitcoin, we actually have proof of work. We have people putting in their time, their labor, their money into this in order to build out this infrastructure. Okay, whereas this other infrastructure is literally pulled out. I shouldn't say literally, but it's freaking pulled out of a hat.
Yeah, of course.
You know, they don't get to win this.
Why is it that the government, right, has a monopoly on the creation of money?
Because they have no choice, because they offer no value. They know that they offer no... Imagine that for years you get to do something very poor and there's never any repercussion, right? There's no repercussions. You still get your paycheck. Everything's all good. Your life goes on. That's exactly what it is for them. But imagine that they actually had to provide value. They actually would have to, create real services that help people. Man, it's like, it's like you're asking somebody that, to go from doing nothing to going like from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And like, they're just like, this is not what the government's about. The government is a slow, incompetent machine that just is self-serving. And all it does is impose overbearing regulation, right? That feeds all of their little puppet friends.
And you saw it right there. We're like, we talked about the COVID thing and how ridiculous it is, right? It's like if these passports or whatever were so important for people's health, then they wouldn't give the same privileges to people that got a fake vaccine or the placebo. It doesn't make sense, dude. It's literally all about control. These people that win a popularity contest think that because they won a popularity contest, they could just, use that power to start wars and do whatever the fuck they want. It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Bitcoin fixes this completely. Opt the fuck out, and that defunds them in the process. If you guys want to find out more about this, definitely go check out Simon's thread. It's linked down below. But anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right, everyone, we've got ELECTRUM wallet version 4.1.5, and that is a very sexy Bitcoin wallet down below in the show notes.
I can't believe you read that. But anyways, guys, it is a very sexy Bitcoin wallet.
This is a sexy Bitcoin wallet.
ELECTRUM's pretty good. Anyways, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash the like button.
End of the week.
End of the week. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the Bitcoin news from the perspective of two plebes, definitely consider subscribing. And of course, wait. And of course, if you want to hear the daily fails from the shitcoiners and the fiat artists, then subscribe. I'm lost today. Anyways, we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
Nico's lost.